Imagine you walk into a pawn shop, you hand the guy a watch, he squints at it through one of those little eye loop things and goes, "Yeah, man, this is fake, costume jewelry. I'll give you 35 bucks." You shrug, you take the 35, you walk out the door. You stop at the gas station across the street to grab a Monster, you turn around to head home, and you see the same pawn shop guy putting your watch in the window labeled authentic Rolex, $2,000. That's not a hypothetical. That's not a thought experiment. That is almost word for word what professional sports authenticator just got caught doing to a guy who sent in 30 Pokemon cards. And the gaming collecting community is pissed. Charlie from Moist Critical, who, if you don't know, has a Pokemon card collection that could probably fund a small country, has been talking about how cooked the grading industry is. And honestly, he's got every reason to be mad. So today we're cracking this whole thing open like a booster pack of pure unfiltered corporate audacity, because PSA didn't just step on a rake. They manufactured the rake, sold us the rake, graded the rake a PSA 9, bought the rake back, and then relisted the rake as a PSA 10. So here's what actually happened. Late 2025, a collector, guy goes by Cali Cards in the hobby, sends in a batch of about 30 cards. We're talking Zion Williamson Prism rookies. We're talking 2019 Pokemon Tag Team cards. Cards he generally thought were gem mint, PSA 10 candidates. He pays the fees, he waits the months, he does the dance. Every single one comes back a 9. Not a single 10 in the bunch. Zero, nada, goose egg. Now, anybody who's ever submitted cards before knows that kind of hurts, but it is a gamble. You take it on the chin, you move on. And here's where PSA, like the very generous, totally not suspicious company that they are, goes, "Hey, bummer about your 9s. Tell you what, we'll buy them from you. Direct buyback program, right through the app, one tap, 35 bucks a card, easy peasy." So he goes, "Yeah, all right, get me out of this hole." Sells 11 of them back to PSA at 9 prices. And then he posts the results online like collectors do, just venting. And somebody at PSA sees the post and goes, "Oh, you know what? On second look, those are actually 10s." And they regrade his cards, same cert number, same exact cards, now upgraded, now worth multiples of what he sold them for. And nobody told him. He had to find out by checking the PSA database himself, like a guy looking up his ex on Instagram and finding out she's married now. I mean, are you kidding me? That's not a clerical error. That's not a whoopsie. That is a company that grades the cards, sets the prices on the cards, buys the cards from you at the price they set, and then regrades the cards they now own. Each one of those steps taken alone is a yellow flag. Stack them on top of each other, it's a parade float. And of course, PSA's official response was the most corporate, weasel-worded, "We did not have intercourse with that woman," non-apology you've ever seen. They called it a one-off grading error. A senior reviewer was just doing a quality check. Pure coincidence, just so happened that this quality check upgraded 11 cards that PSA already owned. The same way I just so happened to quality check the cookies my wife bakes by eating 6 of them in the kitchen at midnight. But here's the part that should send you into orbit. This is where I lost it. PSA has this thing called an upcharge policy. So stick with me for a second. When you submit a card, you tell them what you think it's worth. You pay a fee based on that value tier. Cool, simple. But if your card comes back graded higher than your declared value, PSA retroactively jacks up your fee. Submit a card under the $500 tier, it comes back a 10 worth $2,000, your fee just doubled, sometimes tripled. Read that incentive structure with me one more time slowly, like we're in an Aaron Sorkin courtroom drama. PSA makes more money when they give your card a higher grade. PSA also makes more money when they give your card a lower grade and then buy it from you. Whichever way the wind blows, the house wins. The only person who loses in every direction, in every scenario, is you. The collector, the guy who just wanted to slap his childhood Charizard. Oh, and the cherry on top of this stinking sundae, buried in PSA's terms of service, is a line that says, and I'm paraphrasing for you here, "Grading is subjective and our opinions can change at any time. We make no guarantees." There's also a mandatory arbitration clause. No class action lawsuits allowed. No jury of your peers, just you alone against a billion-dollar company in a closed room. This is the same legal jiu-jitsu every monopoly uses to make sure you can't actually punch back. And I want to step off the gas for 30 seconds here because I think it's important. The reason we're all so mad, the reason Charlie is mad, the reason dealers are halting submissions, the reason there's an entire hashtag no PSA May boycott blowing up right now is not really about the money. It's not about Zion Williamson rookies. It's not even really about cards. It's about the fact that this hobby is a feeling. It's a kid sitting on the floor of his bedroom in 1999, cracking a base set pack and pulling a holographic Charizard and just losing his mind. It's a dad teaching his son how to spot a centering issue. It's the guy on a fixed income who saved up to grade his grandfather's Mickey Mantle because that card is the closest thing he has left to him. PSA was supposed to be the grown-up in the room, the neutral referee. the reason the slab on the table actually means something. And what they've done by grading and buying and selling and pop controlling and upcharging and arbitrating is that they've taken a hobby that was built on trust between strangers and they've turned it into another rigged casino where the house owns the dice, the table, the chips, and the bouncer who throws you out when you complain. That's why this matters. Okay, sentimental moment over, back to dunking on these clowns because it gets worse. Did you know PSA also literally destroyed a guy's lenticular PSA 10 Deoxys card recently and offered him half the value back? Half, as in 50%, as in, we broke your stuff, here's a coupon, eat dirt. Imagine FedEx losing your package and going, yeah, we'll give you half a refund because, hey, the box got halfway there, didn't it? And remember that whole Monopoly thing I mentioned? PSA's parent company, Collectors Holdings, recently bought up SGC. Then they bought Beckett. So the three biggest grading companies in America are all owned by the same conglomerate. There's a class action antitrust lawsuit being filed right now in California. Congressman Pat Ryan literally sent a letter to the FTC asking them to investigate. When sitting members of Congress are writing strongly worded letters about your card grading company, my brother in Christ, you have completely lost the plot. And look, here's where I land on this. The grade on a slab is only worth something if you trust the grader. Once that trust is gone, and after the buyback scandal, the upcharge scam, the destroyed Deoxys, the Monopoly, and the most insulting non-apology I've seen since EA tried to explain Battlefront 2 loot boxes, that trust is wandering the parking lot looking for its keys. It's gone. PSA has speed run the Activision arc. They have collected every monetization sin like they're going for the achievement. So if you're a collector right now, send your cards to CGC, send them to Tag, send them to literally anybody else. Vote with your wallet because PSA isn't going to change until the spreadsheet starts bleeding red. And if you're new to the hobby and you're thinking, man, should I get into this? Yes, of course, totally do it. Just don't let the graders convince you that the plastic case matters more than the cardboard that's inside it. Because that piece of cardboard, that's the whole point. The slab is just packaging. If this video pulled you out of a parking lot somewhere, hit the like button, subscribe, leave me a comment telling me your worst grading horror story. I read every single one, and I'll see you in the next one. Cyler